Magenta models. Yes, we are live then for the final race of first race of the new season of the Super Formula Championship, and we begin with Goodwood, because why not, basically. Coincidentally, isn't it also the actual Goodwood Festival of Speed this week?
Yeah.
So,
I'm pretty sure it is. I was watching something on YouTube.
So I think with it being the Goodwood Festival of Speed this week, we'll just say that was meant to align, and so here we are. Definitely part of the plan on this.
It's obviously that high level dedication and thinking that you do to line these up.
Yeah. It's
Super
like
job, Robbo. Super job.
It's like our multi-class last week was at the same place as the Austrian Grand Prix. Definitely not coincidental. Anyway, so here we are at Goodwood, the Goodwood Motor Racing Circuit. It's a very short track, but it doesn't make it any easier, because we've seen a fair few drivers already making errors in this practice session. I think that was Ruti there. Thank you for welcome to the stream. Obviously, Ruti's not in this one. I think it's Gemini that is replacing him for this race alongside Wittmann. As far as teams for this new season, the drivers have been allowed to choose their teammates. Some of them are returning teams. It's Infinity Racing, who've got the same lineup, and the Red Bull team has the same lineup as well. Yorkshire T returns, but with a completely different lineup of Walter and Reitenwald. In fact, we shall now take this opportunity. It seems like a good opportunity as any to begin talking about the teams. So here we go. We have obviously not all of them are in the lobby yet. We're still waiting for some. We've got Force Croatia, both Croatian drivers, Mike Bonner and Fran. We've got the pink one. I can't remember, what did they say it was called? The magenta something or other. Yeah,
something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, the dominant force, Raiden and Rester. We've also got Yorkshire T Racing of Walter and Reitenwald. Flawless Geezers in Emperor Buttocks and Foxy, who is on the track at the moment. Red Bull, Hunty and Gad continuing on. Infinity Racing consists of Ruti and Wittmann again. And Piston Broke Racing, which sees Shinobi partnered with M3 Guy. Three guys here. Yeah, so I think we're waiting for a couple of them, but we are mostly, for the large part, very excited about this first race of the season.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an absolute beauty, Robbo. The amount of cars, short track, it's quite a windy track, high speed as well, so there may be some wheel-to-wheel action resulting in cars going wide. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, we could see a couple of cars going off, and especially qualifying when they're all trying to push so hard to get the perfect lap time. It's and there's a bit of incident there. I was just watching Gad go around. He has clipped Raiden, so there's already an incident. As we were talking about it, Raiden and Gad Gaming did end up making contact, and there's Wittmann G off the track as well. Just a bit of an incident. Magenta Mad Lads Racing, that is the name of Raiden and Tay.
Magenta Mad Lads Racing.
Magenta Mad Lads Racing. So, also this seems like a good time as any to talk about a new rule that's been introduced for this season. It's not really going to have an effect on this race, but from every race afterwards in the season, the top three in the championship will have to qualify on the tyre they wish to start the race on. So, what do you make of that, Budge?
Yeah, anything that kind of slows the fast guys down slightly and brings everybody else into play is good for me. Makes it a little bit more exciting if they're going to qualify a little bit lower down the grid. See what they're like at overtaking as well. It's not often you see the guys that sort of lead from the front, what they're like in the back, so that might bring it all a little bit more excitement.
Yeah, it's whole idea that it's the decision they have to make on whether they want track position or a good strategy, because we saw plenty of times last season the hard tyre seems to work. Obviously, for qualifying, the tyre wear will be reduced, but it will be sent back to the normal and rather iconic at this point 25 times tyre wear for this series. Foxy's already having his frustrations with the final chicane. That didn't take long, did it? I think Garda's also had a moment at the final chicane.
Redden's just got a camera just sat there.
Yeah, that'd be a great camera angle, that. Oh, Gad's gone straight on at turn 1. 5-second time penalty for absolutely slamming into the barriers in the first corner there. I think we should actually just put a fixated camera on the first corner, on that final chicane. With the whole race, so just watch this chicane. I think that would work. So it's been interesting to see as we've got Foxy in the pits now. One thing as well I need to note is as well, Budge, if you see anyone for this season, I've tried to make sure, or at least I've asked them, to obey the actual pit lane procedures, you know, pit exit, pit entry, and follow the white lines. So keep your eye out for that in case anyone doesn't. I think this track, just looking at it, there isn't really much to follow, so this shouldn't really be an issue with this one. But
no, this one looks like it's just pull over.
Oh, and 3 guys off. Yeah, I think it's around an airfield, this track. Like, you know,
I think most of the British tracks are, aren't they?
Yeah, I was going to say most British circuits, they're disused, or at least some of them, Silverstone being the biggest example, is a disused RAF base, wasn't it, from the war?
Yeah.
And then they turned it into a racetrack because, well, why not? But this one definitely does go around the airfield, I know that much, because you can see the planes in the middle of the track. At certain points you go past them.
In fact, going fastest at the moment. Seems to have got himself a good half lapping.
Raiden as well, here we come through the first sector. Is Raiden up on his time? He is indeed. Raiden's also purple. And CSX Recite is on the top of the timesheets at the moment, Raiden's teammate. Someone's had a bit of an off, I think. There are actually corner names, and I did have a quick look, but I'm not sure what they actually are. I can't remember all of them. But there are definitely corner names for this race. Raiden's up again on his time, Vitamin G.
He just caught the chicane at the end.
Ah, is he?
It's time, yeah.
What's Raiden do? Raiden looks to have navigated the chicane well. CSX Axel, welcome to the stream. I'm assuming you'll be checking up on your Recite. Raiden did improve his time, but he's not gone fast. He's still only 4th, and even Walter's quicker than Raiden. Now that's interesting.
Yeah, was it last week that Walter
nearly won in multi-cross, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a really good race for Walter in the multi-class race.
Yeah, it was excellent in that.
Until another fortunate mistake right at the end. Some rather interesting liveries are coming out on the cars. Is one of the Force Croatia boys, the young Croatian Fran. I believe Fran is one of the youngest in the league, if not the youngest in the league. I'm fairly certain that's a fact.
Okay.
But that doesn't exactly mean he's slow, because we saw him in Suzuka, he did actually rather well in that race. He's going slow. Walter, I think Walter might have had a moment there with M3 guy. Yeah, Walter and M3 guy, they stopped on the track, and there goes Wrighton and Raiden. So it's getting very tight. Wrighton's gone off the track as well. Wrighton has had a moment. So it looks to be getting very tight in certain sections of the lap. So if we just check Fran. Raiden, is this an improvement on his time for Raiden? It is, and he got second. So Raiden moves himself up into second place. Although, look at the gap between Gemini and Raiden. It's identical. That's the thing that's happened, yeah. Gemini and Raiden have set an identical lap time in this practice session at the moment. Hi Hunty, welcome. That's not my name for the record, but yeah, sure.
Wow.
Moving swiftly, Walter's looking pretty impressive at the moment, only a tenth away from the top three. Raiden does go fastest. Raiden's gone quicker than his teammate by the smallest of margins. I mean, it's not as small as his gap to Gemini was just a second ago, but he has gone quicker. 55.8. Yep, well, that's GT Sport. It'll put who it wants in front. Cat Gaming moving very slowly. I could expect to see traffic being a bit of an issue because surely in a qualifying session for a track like this you do not want to be surrounded by the cars as M3 guy finds his way back on the track. Like, this doesn't seem like the sort of track you want to be surrounded by cars, but there's not much wiggle room in terms of finding track space.
No, not at all. They almost want to go out in fastest first order.
Oh, Wrighton's gotten lost again. He's had his moment in the chicane. Emperor Buttocks is skirting his way off the track there, and he's also slammed straight into the board. So, chicane is already claiming many casualties. Currently have 12, I think we're literally just missing Nike, Donna and Shinobi, I think. So, yep, that confirms we are definitely missing Nike, Donna, I think it's GT Shinobi is the other one that we're missing. Oh, Wrighton, Hunty, the two Red Bulls and Wrighton are getting a little too close together, I think. Oh, I think he's trying to get around the outside of Gad. This is getting interesting. Foxy's getting himself involved. And this is, they're racing before the race has even begun. All three of them. And oh, someone's Gad. That's Gad has gone skirting off at the chicane. Now he's completely lost. Definitely just caught the back end, and Raiden's gotten himself into a spin, showing that no one is immune to this track. And there's another one off at the top of the track, and there's Levante corner. Someone's off, and they don't seem to be moving all too much. I think Emperor Buttocks is having enough. Yep, Emperor Buttocks has decided he doesn't want to do this one.
No.
Still a lot of Vitman clipped the barrier on the exit of the chicane. Walter's trailing down. He is trailing down Fran. And they got a little bit too close coming out the first corner. Walter's off the track. He spins straight across and gets reset. Oh, I believe we could be ready for our stuck check then. So it looks like we might be ready to go for the first stuck check of the second season here in Super Formula. So for this, they will do the first few corners. I mean, they're going to make contact. This is ISRL, they always do. Here we go, it's a Magenta Mad Lads 1-2 then on the grid for the stuck check. There's Yorkshire Tea and Infinity Racing lining up collectively. Evening again, free guy. It is lights out and away they go for the stuck check. Raiden and Tay look to have gotten away well, and that's Gemini. Gemini has gone off, Vintman's gone off as well. So both Infinity Racing boys have followed each other off. Everyone looks to be clean so far, and three guys lagging behind a bit. Oh, there's a bit of contact. There's Raiden and Wrighton have gone off, and Tay's gone off. So yeah, everyone looked to have gotten away well then. The two Red Bulls touching there. And no surprises there then. So here we go, we're just down to 3, which once Vintage leaves, it will signal the start of qualifying. We have now 10 minutes to determine who is the fastest. Excuse me.
I've got an error.
A what? Oh no.
Blue screen of death.
Oh dear. Either way, we ride on board, or at least we watch Race Day then. That's a problem, Bodge. Right, well, I'll try and take you with this lap then. We'll stay with Race Day. The good news about this lap being so short is that you'll have plenty of time to try and do the lap. And Gad's gone as well. I think Gad might have also had an issue there that's problematic. We're right on board with Racer Tay as he starts this flying lap. The first flying lap of the qualifying session as he approaches the chicane, prepared for a flying lap. Here we go then. It begins now across the line, and Gemini's coming out of the pits. That's going to be a bit of a distraction. It's mostly flat for the first part of the first corner. He takes the whole thing flat. Yes, he does. He gets it flat in the end through turn 1. Such high speeds, he's continuing flat. I mean, it's pretty much all you can say about this track, because it's flat. It's still flat. As he takes this corner tends to cause issues. Slight lift, bit of break, but he's gone on the grass, Tay's on the grass, and that's his lap ruined. His lap is over. Walter looks to have survived, however, and here he comes now through onto the back straight. So Tay has already lost a lap here in qualifying, a crucial lap time which could have given him for that fight for pole position. Here we go then with Walters. We ride on board with Walters. He approaches the final sector now, will be the first one to set the time. Bit of a disaster for Race Tay, who went off the track. Ooh, bit of a wobble on the grass there through the chicane. As this for Walter, gets it right on the exit. I think he just about missed that pit sign, and it's a 56. It was a 56 for Walter. That's not a bad time, but Raiden does go fastest in 3 guy. He goes third at the moment. Vim G crossed the line. 4. Fran, the Croatian driver, goes straight on across the end of the track. That's not the quickest way around that lap. Where's Foxy and Racer Tay? Racer Tay trying desperately to get prepared for a lap. They're going side by side into that final chicane. That's not going to help. So here we go. Then we've got Foxy, who's following Racer Tay, who is undoubtedly the slowest person, but an off on the track will not really help your attempts on pole. Here comes Wrighton Lad, who's had a bit of issues with that chicane. Here he comes out the final corner now and approaching the line. He goes third. That's P3 at the moment for Wrighton Lad. That was a pretty impressive lap then. Here comes Hunty the Punty in the Red Bull. Let's hope he doesn't live up to his name in this. Into the final couple of corners now to see how he attacks it. Looking pretty decent as he comes into that final chicane. He's got a nice run for that final chicane, but I think he might have lost a bit of time somewhere because he's quite down on his time. He goes 8th behind Fran. Gad is now the last person, but where does Race Tape improve up to with his lap time? He comes across the line, and it's P2 Race Tacer. He gets on the front row of the grid with his teammate, in fact, that's Walter and Raiden, going side by side, win on the back straight. Not too sure what's going on here, but these two are side by side in 1st and 3rd at the moment. So that's Vitamin G following M3 guy. So Gad Gaming then is about to begin his lap, his first lap. With a bit of issues getting out on track for qualifying, but here he goes now to start his flying lap. Seems a bit slower than what Tay managed to do. The front runners have taken that first corner entirely flat now. It's going to be a question of how quick you want to set the corners. Oh, and Gad's gone off. Gad has gone straight on there, and he rejoins the track. And there's contact between Raiden and Gad Gaming. Gad Gaming has got it all horribly wrong on the rejoin, and that has caused chaos. And I don't know if Raiden was on a flying lap, but he's definitely not anymore. It's a bit of an iffy one. Raiden's going to be fuming with that because he's got damage to the front of his car. Gad sort of just came across. That is going to affect Raiden as he goes off the track now. That's just not right, Gad.
No, I mean, there's an awful lot of cars that are kind of getting in each other's way as Race Tape goes off. Vitamin G is only down in 6th. He was held up a little bit earlier in traffic as well. It's not easier for the fast guys around this track. Looking forward to this one.
Gemini, he peels off into bits. We've got Fran, he's got Hunty just in front of him, and there's someone else that's come out on track just in front of them. Tay's gone sideways, he's not facing the right way on the main straight, and his N3 guy comes onto the line. I'm not sure what Tay's trying to do. He goes into the pit lane then. Any qualifying performance is standing out for you at the moment as we approach the halfway, as we're over halfway now into qualifying, and anything impressed you at the moment? Oh, Vitman's off. Vitman is off, and he's gone. Vitman's really struggling. There's M3 guy in 9th at the moment. The two Red Bulls are bringing up the rear. They finished last in the team's championship last season, and they're going to hope not to do so again. But Gad's going side by side with Walter, and that looks to have resolved itself with Walter going around the outside. But Gad, he's going to want to improve his time. He's down in last place, 1.7 seconds behind his teammate, and it's not like Hunty's much further up the order. And Gad's off the track yet again. He really looks to be struggling here. Fran is also off the track at the moment.
Gad really got out of the way for Raiden then. Raiden just about to come over the line. See what this lap is like. No, that's half it.
He's down.
Second down.
It's not like he's far from his teammate. Fran's not far from them. But this looks to be an interesting battle developing, with both Yorkshire Tees just ahead of the Infinity Racing, but not by a million miles. Here comes Gemini. Is Gemini up on his time to try and get himself further up the order? No, he's not. He is not up on his time. He's down on positioning there. We now have Walter, who is behind Hunty on the track. Vitamin G's managed to get up in a 4th and on that second row of the grid, so it's entirely Yorkshire T 3rd row as Wrighton is continuing his off-track explorations here. That final chicane, he's really struggling with that final chicane here today. Goud comes up to the line though. Does he actually improve his time now? Because he really will want to, but is this going to be an improvement? It's not. He's down on his time. Here comes Foxy. Someone is round, someone's round. And it is Recite again is round. But he thinks, is he got enough for pole position at the moment? Raiden is now, here he is on a flying lap, but is Raiden up on his time? Well, we're about to find out. He comes through the end of the middle sector.
Vitamin G going wide, off the track.
Raiden's half a second down. Walter's just rejoined as well, and Hunty and Wrighton. I think Hunty and Wrighton have had an incident together somewhere on the tracks. They've both had a bit of a wobble, and Hunty has gone off. So, as expected, track space really proving to be an issue here as Walter's off again. It's more just an issue of keeping the car on the track and then rejoining, not in front of someone who's on a flying lap, but there is someone on every part of the track. It's really difficult to find some space here. G then with a 4.5 second penalty. We approach the final minute now, so this is going to be crunch time, especially for someone like Raiden, who is he's going to be trying everything to get that pole position away from his teammate on the first race of the season, the reigning champion. Is this going to be enough for Raiden? Is he up on his time? No, he's not. He's down, but it's such a small margin. He might make some of it up in this final sector. But there's issues. There's Walter going slow out of the chicane. Or he's in the middle of the chicane. Is this enough for Raiden? Yes, he improves, but it's only a small improvement. He does not improve over Recite. Luckily, though, Raiden does get start lap. Recite will not get start lap, and he is off. So Recite has placed his hand then with that time, and that is the time that Raiden's going to have to beat. Where is Fran? Fran's going to be trying to come for his final sector now to move himself onto the front row with qualifying. Oh, let's just see how Fran does. He went a bit wide, and that's not an improvement. Vitamin G, is Vitamin G up on his time? I don't think he is. He's got Hunty just in front of him. This is not going to be easy for him. Walter down in 5th place. Gemini's gone into 6th or 7th. Then 3 guys suddenly pulled himself out. 8th is Foxy at the moment. And Raiden, who's desperately trying to improve his time. Is Raiden going to be able to grab pole at the death of things here? It was nice for the final chicane. He's really going for it, but is this enough to get pole position? No, it's not, and Recite takes pole position for the first race of the season, and Raiden will indeed get second. It's a magenta mad lads front row lockout. Fran is the closest challenger at the moment. He's looked too far off, although Fran I think was up on his time there. I think the grid is set. I think Fran might be on a lap. We'll see where Fran comes. And it's not an improvement. So yeah, that is the lap then. The qualifying is set, and it is Recite who takes pole position for the first race of the season.
Yeah, if qualifying is going to lead to the quality of the race, this is going to be lots of fun, like we've been saying. There's going to be cars all over the place. Overtaking is going to be super difficult then. And I'll see if I can catch the back after the race and see if you can catch the people at the front. See how they get on.
Yep, so here we go. It's now decision time. What tyres do the drivers start on? What tyres? What is the strategy for today's plan then? I reckon I could see a lot of people trying to not make as many stops because, like you say, overtaking is going to be difficult. You don't want to get, especially if you're one of the faster guys. If you are one of the faster guys, you definitely don't want to end up being stuck behind another car. So it could be an interesting one. Have we reached an issue because no one appears to be going into the correct grid slots as they go through the first sector, so there might have been an issue here.
Okay.
But I don't know. There may or may not, there might have been a problem here with the grid is not currently set up correctly. It's
Okay.
we might have to manually set it up.
Okay, we can do that.
Right. Just make sure everyone is on track, because the grid is not right. So we'll have to set it up ourselves. Everyone's on? Yep. Okay. Minor issues. Budge, do you mind going onto the stream and just tell me what the grid was? I can remember it was Tay definitely was on pole position.
Yeah,
Raiden,
Fran.
Right. Fran.
Vitamin G. Walter.
Yeah.
Wrighton Lad. Gemini.
Yeah.
M3 guy. And then I'm going to have to find the next bit of the video that has the lower placed order.
I think it went Foxy Hunty Gad.
Yeah, do that and see if anyone complains.
Alright, I believe that was the grid, so we'll go with that. So, with that then, the grid is set for what promises to be a cracking race then. With that though, let's quickly run you through the tyre strategies for the race today then, on the race starting tyre. Raiden goes on the medium tyres, Gad is on the mediums, Walter on the hards, Hunty on the hards, Fran is on the softs, Racete on the mediums, Wrighton Lad on the mediums, Hunty hard, done him. A 3 guy is on the hards, Gemini on the softs, Foxy on the hards, Vitamin G on the mediums. That is it. We are ready to go racing for the first race of a new season here in Super Formula. Are we ready to rumble?
Oh, we certainly are.
It promises to be an exciting one. It is going to be great, Charlie. I believe, let's just hope that, yeah, I think the grid should work. But here we go, 30 laps here in Goodwood for the British round of the Super Formula Championship here in Season 2. Racete pole position leads his teammate, the reigning champion Raiden, for the Mad Lab Magenta cars. We'll see what happens between these two in a sort of team situation here as we get ready for one of the shortest tracks on the shortest track on the calendar. 30 laps await us then. Right, so I don't know where we go. Racete looks to have gone away well, but Fran looks to have had a fantastic start. He's trying to immediately pull himself alongside Raiden. He's trying to get around the outside. Everyone looks to have filed themselves through though. Fran's getting down the inside and Fran has immediately split. The Magenta cars, Walter's off in the exit of turn 1. But other than that, I think we might have escaped casualty free. Gemini's drops back, Walter has dropped back massively. And now Raiden drops to 3rd place. Fran immediately sets his sights now on Racete to try and take the lead away from Racete on this opening lap. Here he comes through then. And I think someone has gone off. I think that's Wrighton Lad. Him 3 guy also looks to have had an error. Foxy's going slow at the back as well. But meanwhile, the battle up front, Fran has absolutely pulled miles away. I think Raiden might have gone off because Bo Infinity cars have managed to get ahead of Raiden. And I think Fran's trying to get around the outside of Racete. He's desperately trying to find his way past this opening lap. He's got softer tyres. He needs to make them work. Is he on for removing the chicane? No, he's not. Everyone looks to have gone away. Vitamin G does well to get up in 3rd. Gemini clips the barrier, and now that allows Raiden an opportunity. I think that's Walter's gone off as well. Walter has gone off on the final chicane, and now the 2 Yorkshire racing cars go side by side, and Wrighton takes 7th place.
Well, there's certainly been a lot going on at the start. We've got Raiden coming up behind Gemini, trying to get himself back up through. But there's just cars all over the place. It's great watching it.
So then, Raiden all over the back of Gemini, but can he find his way through? This was not how he wanted. Hello, Cliché, welcome to the stream, and what an opening lap. I thought there's a bit of contact there between Raiden and Gemini. Raiden needs to get his way up, but he does not need to get over aggressive, because that could land him with a penalty, and it will have all been for nothing. In the end, though, Fran is really hassling the back of Tate, who is on the mediums. Fran on the soft tyres. He's really made them work. What an incredible start Fran had. And Vitman G as well, great start to getting into fourth, and Gemini. I think Raiden was the big loser on the start.
And somehow they've managed to get Hunty up to sixth.
Hunty, that's another fantastic start from Hunty. M3 guy trying to get around the outside of Gad. Is he got it? Yes, he has. M3 guy's ahead. Gad loses the position. Gad runs wide, and now Fox is going to steam his way through the inside. And Foxy has managed to move himself into the top 10 and onto the points. However, now Foxy immediately turns his sights onto M3 guy. No, you all want to watch battle at the front, but we've got battle going on at the back as well. We've got Fran, who's actually taking the lead. We might have missed that somewhere. Fran is now leading this race.
Hunty's gone squirrel in the middle.
Oh, it's not good because here comes Walter. And Raiden's through. He's through. No, he sets his sights onto Vitman G. Fran has lost the lead, so Fran must have had an error maybe coming out of the chicane, because Fran now loses that lead from Raciter. We've got the two Yorkshire T cars running very close to each other on track, with Wright and Ladd and MJ Walter together. Very close indeed. But Hunty has had an incredible start. I think Walter's gone off. Walter has indeed gone off. On split strategies as well, with Walter on the hard tyre, Wrighton on the mediums, and now it's very close up front between Fran and Reste. Fran needs to clear him if he wants this soft tyre strategy to work. He needs to get ahead of Tay and then start building a gap, because otherwise starting on the softs and having a great first stint won't really work out in the end. In fact, I think that's Raiden trying to get around the outside of Vitman G to get onto the top three. Raiden makes the move stick.
Yeah, we had Fran last lap leading into the last corners, but he actually took about the third corner from the end a little bit too wide, put him out of shape. He only just managed to get past the chicane. He was on the grass on the way out. That's why he was slow from there onwards. He had a couple of bad corners.
So just a small error which led to big consequences. Here's Vitman G looking very racy against Raiden here, and he's very close to making that move, but he's not quite got him yet. And Fran's really attacking Raciter. Fran has almost gotten around the outside now as they come onto the straight. What is the use of overtake? Raciter's used a lot more of his overtake than Fran, who should probably really needs to be attacking Raciter if he wants for this strategy to work out for him. I think Tay touched the grass. Tay goes wide. He's gone wide in the corner just before the chicane. Then loses the lead. I think he's going to lose time to his teammate as well, Raiden, as they come into the chicane. Raciter line a bit wide out of the chicane, and now Fran has taken the lead of this race. Now he needs to pull away, but with Raiden very close to the back of him. Gemini and Vitman G close together, and we've got Walter, Hunty and Wrighton very close. I think Walter almost looked like he was going to make a move there on Hunty. Does he pull out to the inside? These two running on the hards, Wrighton on the softer medium compound, and with Foxy closing in. Here comes Walter. I think Walter's going down the inside on Hunty's contact, and Hunty goes off, but he rejoins his position, and Wrighton flies past the both of them.
Lost for words, absolutely excellent.
And Raiden has actually lost the position to both Infinity Racing cars. They're now running third and fourth. What a fascinating start to the season they're having right now. Here comes Raiden trying to get around the outside of Gemini, but not on this occasion. It's slowly derailing for the Magenta boys. Here comes Raiden, he's trying to get around the outside of the chicane. Raiden's tried to make a move into the chicane, it's resulted in contact as Gemini spins. Raiden looks to continue on. Unbelievable, what was he thinking? He tried to make that move in the chicane. Right and Ladd's gone off. He has gone off just before the chicane. Have they closed up enough on Gemini? That was a very silly decision, I think, from Raiden there. I'm not sure what he was thinking, but it's all gone wrong for Gemini, who chooses now to pit in off his soft tyres.
Yeah, I don't think that's... I think you pretty much got to go up the inside if you're going to overtake there. It's going to be difficult to get your car back far in front.
Now then, Racete is all over the back of Vitman G, who's actually... Racete has lost the position of Vitman G. So the Magenta Mad Lads, it's slowly going backwards from both of them. Tate's also abused his tyres at the moment. A bad move, says Can't Shake the Cliche, who was actually supporting Gemini at the start. Vitman's gone off! Vitman off then! And he's clapped the barrier on the exit, on at the tyre wall. So it's... Slowly though, Fran has built up a 5-second lead. He's doing exactly what he needs to be doing right now. This is great move from Fran. Racete, Vitman G is dropped down, back down to 3rd place now. Raiden sets his sights on him again. Walter up into 5th place. Hunty and Wrighton Lad are going side by side on the main straight. Wrighton Lad trying to get down the inside on Hunty. Does he make the move? He gets onto the grass, and no. Hunty manages to hold out that 6th place, but Wrighton's not giving up. And here he comes now, desperately trying to find his way past. And he's slipping down the inside into the next corner. And he's through on this occasion. If we remember back to Suzuka last season, the last race, Hunty managed to hold on dead tyres on the final lap against Wrighton. It hasn't worked out the same on this occasion. In fact, Hunty's dropped a lot of time to Foxy. There's yellow flags, it's Fran! Fran has spun out from the lead on the final chicane! What on earth has he done there? He must have gone that horribly wrong. And he splits Vitman and Raiden, who had to go both ways around him. And Raiden retakes 2nd place. Unbelievable scenes from Fran, who spins out from the lead of the race, and now his tyres are surely wrecked.
Oh yeah, we just had a quick replay of that one, and he got his back right-hand tyre on the grass as he came out of the chicane, and that span him round. Everything was looking great through the chicane up to that, just ran a bit wide, threw it away. Nice. It's not that far back down though.
Unfortunately though, Gemini, who was having an incredible start to this race, I think there's a definite inquiry coming Raiden's way after that one. It's definitely going to be something to be looked over, because it's just wasn't the most sensible place to overtake, was that. It was the chicane. No matter how good you think you are, I just think he should have waited to get onto the main straight to try and get past him there, but I don't know if he was just getting restless waiting behind him. But either way, he's now very close to his teammate. How does the Magenta Mad Lads play this? Will Team Orders come into it to try and help themselves lead? I don't think they will. Racete versus Raiden. They're getting very close to the back of each other here now, as they too try to move themselves away. They've managed to pull out a bit of a gap now to Vitman G. This could be a familiar scene we see all season long, this. And Vitman's gone skirting off the end of the track. He's gone off for absolutely miles, promoting Fran back onto the podium. And Vitman G spins again, coming back once he's been reset. Vitman G manages to spin. Here's Walter in 5th place. Is he going to recover? Is Vitman G going to be recovering in time before Walter gets here? I don't quite think so. Tay then and Raiden race away into the distance. GRT Elgin, welcome. Raiden looks to have a bit of a moment. Raiden's in, Racete in. Both of them are in the pits. Oh, Josh, hi. And Fran is in on his softs. He's managed to get those softs. Look how dead they are.
It looks like the Hards have held out well. Hunty still in 6th, pushing on. Not bad lap times, 50, touched into the 58.2 for his fastest lap. The softs, 2 seconds faster.
In fact, Raiden's managed to jump his teammate, and Raiden's gone off from the lead. Raiden has made a mistake. The reigning champion has made an absolutely colossal error that has handed his teammate the race lead. And now Fran tries to get down the inside of Walter, who is not backing down.
That's some excellent driving by the two of them then. Fran's a bit wide in. Coming right up behind Walter now.
Raiden's going to be absolutely kicking himself. Racete's going slow. He's going slow. What on earth was happening there?
Let's see if we can get a replay of race day.
Fran's gone off, and Raiden takes second place now, charging after Walter, who leads this race.
Oh, Rosate did exactly the same as Fran did. A couple of laps
Here comes
earlier.
Tay, he's gone down the inside, sorry I cut you off there, but Tay managed to get down the inside of Fran there. And in fact, Walter and Raiden are going side by side. Raiden gets down the inside, the move is done, Walter concedes. Next up is race 2. What on earth is going on? No one seems to want to keep on track in this race. Oh, Raiden's gone off again! Oh, this has gone tight. Walter and Fran going to the chicane. They're still not learning, and now here comes Raiden on, trying to find his way past, trying to get around the outside of Walter, who managed to capitalise the mistake between these two, getting into an incident, and Raiden's through again. And Walter's off. Oh, someone's gone off on the main straight. It's Gemini, whose day has just gone from bad to worse, has managed to spin coming out of the chicane, and he drops down to 10th. He's on the fringes of the points now. Gad Gaming quickly approaching.
It's all quite spread out at the back. Seconds apart.
The most interesting battle is that of this for the lead, and Resite looked, I think he's clipped the chicane. Resite looked to have clipped the chicane there. Walter's still going, approaching the halfway mark in this race, and he looks like he can just go on forever. Gemini though still trying to cut his way through the field. He's rapidly gaining now on M3 guys. You've had to see a move to get him further up and into the top 10, into the points. This was the chicane where it all went wrong for him earlier on. He's got a brilliant run on M3 guy, and he pulls out, and M3 guy pulls into the pits. Way to kill a battle. Speaking of battles though, this one is not resolved yet as Raiden gets very close to the back of his teammate. Oh, Tay's had a moment again. He's had a moment coming out of that chicane, and Raiden finds his way back in front.
I think we'll have to remind Vitamin G to map the overtake button into his wheel before he starts.
Yeah, is he still? Oh wait, no, I just say it. No, he's used it. He used his tap as he went down the inside on Hunter. Interestingly, I just want to know, Vitamin G pitted onto soft tyres. It's an interesting decision. Sean Taylor, I think that's that's Products. Glad you didn't race after all. Track's not suitable for cars at this speed. Well, whether they're suitable or not, it doesn't matter, because here comes Raiden trying to approach up to M3 guy now. This has still been a really exciting race, and what a way to kick the season off. Raiden now has the difficulty of lapping a car on a track like this. If M3 guy causes issues, he can be given a drive-through penalty, but looks to have gone away okay there. All three of these managed to get through. And in fact now Reste is really challenging. He goes down the inside on his teammate to take the lead, and he is down the inside, and I think Fran's going to follow him through, and he does, and Fran is yet again able to split the two magenta man lads. Fran is not out of this race, and any one of these three can win this race today. Oh, a bit of a moment from Tay, and I think a bit of a moment from Raiden trying to get past Fran there. This has gone very close. Oh, here comes Fran. Fran's not holding back. He's trying to look like he was trying to get down the inside of Reste. These three are just going at it. They're not holding back today. Every single one of them wants to win this opening race of the season. And in fact, Fran gets a little on the grass coming out the final corner. And there's Gemini having to let these three through, and he does suitably. Oh, it looks to cause a bit of issues. There's Raiden trying to get off this track, actually. So I retract my previous statement, and Raiden gets a penalty after all that. Meanwhile, Walter's still going. We're on lap 17 and Walter still hasn't pitted, and he's just set his fastest lap of the race, so Walter still has pace, but the rapidly gaining Vitmaji on his soft tyres. Now it's interesting. Where will Walter be once all is said and done? I wouldn't be too surprised to see as Raiden tries to find his way past Fran. Raiden does get past Fran in the end, and it's back to this magenta 1-2.
Sorry for Robbo interrupting himself again.
Yeah. Every time I try to speak about something happens. Anyway, as I was saying, it wouldn't surprise me to see these top three two-stop. They've all gone onto the medium tyre. Fran on the softs did manage to last just as long. Possibly with the amount of laps we've got, over 10 laps to go. We've got about 12 laps to go. As Fran goes off again, he's gone miles off this time, and he's turning this Super Formula car into a lawnmower. Walter is there or thereabouts with Vitmaji, who's actually lost a lot of time, and Hunty is still going in 6th place. Anyway, I've interrupted myself again. Yeah, I could expect to see his top three once make another stop on this race. In fact, I've just realised Raiden's got in front. Anyway, two stop, yes, that's it. So where would this put Walter in relation to them? Because Walter could easily make a one stop at this stage. If he just...
It's going to be one.
As he comes through to lap M3, Guy. Interestingly, he's not getting our way there. He goes there and done. And I think Fran's made another huge mistake. Tay has also lost the lead to Raiden. And Raiden has gone off again. Nobody wants to lead this race, because even Raiden is able to make a mistake, and this does allow Gat briefly to try and unlap himself. Fran has caught up massively, and Walter is just trying to keep it consistent. It is really working for Walter right now. Walter can be in a fantastic position toward the end of the race.
Yeah, I think he will be. When he changes, I guess he's getting 20 out there. Do you think he's going to carry on for a bit and then go on softs for the last... How long are we saying softs last for? 5, 7 laps?
I'd say medium. I'd say Walter at this stage could easily pit onto mediums and make the end. Same with Hunty. Hunty could also do a similar thing. Speaking of which, we're about to find out because he is in the pits. So there, what tyres do go on to Walter's car? He's Yorkshire Tea Racing livery. Here comes Vitmaji then, who retakes 4th place. It's a bit of a disaster. They're all red banded tyres. It is indeed the mediums, and Hunty, who continues on, is continuing on again. Wrighton and Walter come very close in the end. So the two Yorkshire Racing have been very close to each other throughout this race. Hunty starting on the hard, is actually on a yellow branded tyre, so I was mistaken, but point is, Hunty continuing on these hards that he's been on since the start. I could see him pitting in now, but yeah, Walter pitted onto the mediums, easily could make it to the end, as could Hunty. He now just needs to keep it consistent, which is what he's been doing all afternoon. Fran is in for his 2nd stop.
Looks like Hunty's going to pit on this lap as well.
Vitmaji is in on his softs as well. Wrighton, lad, I think Wrighton's made an error. Walter slips down the inside, or was that team orders? Because Wrighton and Walter swapped positions whilst holding off Hunty here. And Hunty is indeed in the pits. In fact, no, Hunty lost position to those two. Raiden and Race Day going very close. In fact, they're going side by side at the top of the track. Who is going to get down the inside? Raiden does take the lead, but I could see these two pitting in soon. If not for tyres, definitely for fuel. Raiden's tyres look to be in a significantly better condition though than Race Day, and they do both indeed come into the pits. So where is Fran? And where is Walter? They're still sat stationary, filling their cars up with fuel, with enough fuel to get to the end. They're on the move. Where's Fran? Into the final chicane. They look to have both gotten out and away.
Yeah, they're both out and away.
Vitman G still trying desperately to gain some positions here in 6th place. Brighton lad at 5th, they can see him pitting in soon enough. His tyres are looking pretty done. Foxy then comes into the pitch from 7th. Gemini has had a bit of a disaster race, and third guy, his race hasn't exactly gone well, but he's fighting for a point, or at least he would be if the gap was anywhere close. He's now got to let Race Tate through, as he has to do the same with Raiden. Do you reckon as a back marker you could probably try and sway the race result, just like, I prefer the guy behind you just to hold you up a bit. Oh, Race Tate doesn't need a back marker to hold him help up, he's gone off the track himself.
So Fran is on the softs. And
That is
Raiden
interesting.
And Race Tate.
Oh, so they're all on the softs then at the front.
Medium. Fitman's on the softs as well.
Fitman's going to be pushing really hard, but despite the softs, that gap's going up. Yeah, the gap between Walter and Vitman's going up, so Vitman is unable to close in on Walter. Wrighton in the pits and has apparently shot into the... What is going on with Wrighton? Oh, I think Wrighton's made a glitch here, because his car is flying.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on? That is not ideal. Apparently from... Oh no, apparently from all of that, though, Wrighton has gone into 3rd. This is... I mean, it's kind of what...
It's disappointing for him, isn't it?
It's definitely disappointing. He was running in a decent race, but I mean, I'm just confused. And he's still going up. He's not actually touching the ground at the moment. I don't understand what's going on. I don't think this was part of the plan. He's
Yeah,
it's...
Walter's just,
oh yeah, there's a race going on. Oh yeah, there's a race going on. I was slightly distracted to... I was slightly distracted by what happened to Wrighton lad, and everyone in the chat is similarly... Everyone in the chat seems similarly confused.
Yeah, it's he's still there.
He's still... It's still going. Fran is going slow coming down the chicane. Walter, that gap is now coming down. Nobody seems to know what's going on for Wrighton, but this is surely going to put him in last, and really just disappointing.
I think there's probably going to be some penalty points as well. It looks like reversing in the pit lane.
Think out Walter, 3 seconds on Fran, that gap's come down, and Vitman's not really making any headways on Walter. Further mistakes from Fran, who's got very little of his overtake. Walter's got a lot of it. Final 5 laps, do we say it's on, Walter, for podium?
I think it will be.
If Fran has been making mistakes quite regularly, continues, it's definitely a shot. In other news though, we've got Race Tate and Raiden still racing away into the distance. Is Wrighton still there? Yeah, Wrighton's definitely still there. Driven such an incredible race, they've had everything thrown at these two. They've really struggled to keep on the track, and it's been far from the perfect day for these boys, but with the closing stages of the race, it is very much on to try and find out who's going to win. And I think they will be allowed to race, but remember boys, rule number 1, don't hit your teammate.
And they're pretty close at the back. The battle for last place has got M3 guy and Gad. They're 1.5 seconds apart. M3 guy.
Wrighton's
slightly better tyres.
Wrighton's still going.
Left.
In fact, M3 guy's got everything of his overtake left.
Yeah.
Raiden, red chair. Yeah, okay. We'll just go with you on that. But that battle will be something worth noticing. In the end, though, what's this battle up front? In fact, the gap between Walter and Fran looks to have gotten bigger, so I don't think it's on, but fourth will still be a fascinating result for him. Race Day looks to have done a great job. In fact, there's two cars just up the road. That's a 3-guy and guard close together. There was quite close to that battle at the front into a Red Bull. Here comes Race Day then. As he closes into this race, it's actually Hunty and Gemini very close together. And whilst these two are battling, they've got the two magenta cars approaching at full speed. So this could get interesting. A Red Bull and a pink car trying to lap each other. Only this time we're not at Interlagos.
M3 guy overtaking Gad. M3 guy up into 9th now.
Nice, M3 guy is into 9th and Wrighton is in last, still hovering in the pit lane. And Race Day is through and ahead of Hunty, and that kind of Hunty has lost a lot of time now to Gemini, as Raiden also finds his way through now. What Hunty would like to do, I'm sure, is keep close. In fact, Fran and Walter have suddenly gone really close together. Walter's now within a second of Fran. Just a small mistake now from Fran. Walter can pounce here. Fran has got much worse off ties. In fact, Vitamin G suddenly closed the battle for this final podium position. He's suddenly on into the final 2 laps of this race. But Race Day has lost the lead to Raiden on the penultimate lap. Somewhere Race Day must have made an error.
Oh, yes, dropped back quite far behind, so it's going to be super close with Fran then. So got the 3 of them close together, all within 2 seconds.
Fran's
Walter is absolutely shot. Not an awful lot of fuel left in that tank.
Yep, Walter's got a lot of fuel left, and as far as overtake's concerned, Fran has none of it. Walter's got a lot of it, and Wittmann's pretty much got all of it. So then, how does this play out then? Fran's tyres, he's obviously going to be feeling the effects of that tyre deck, and it's going to have very little wear on him. He's going to have very little grip with him left. But can Walter get him onto the final lap of the race? Gav looks to have given up in 10th place. Raiden leads on to the final lap with Race Day in second at the moment, but this battle for third is still very much on, but Wittmann looks to have dropped off a bit. It's now just between Walter and Fran. It's going very close. I don't think either of these have had a podium in this Super Formula Series, and Walter's gaining a fair bit on that straight. But is this going to be enough? Is Walter going to be able to close up enough to get a podium for the first time in Super Formula? Will it be enough here, or will Fran just about hold on? It's looking close. It's less than half a second. But as we come into the final chicane, Raiden's gone off, and on the final lap, it's not quite on the line. And at the final chicane, your winner for the first race of the season is the reigning champion. Raiden wins in Goodwood. Race at 8. Second, it's a magenta 1-2, and he's very close. And Walter goes for it. Walter's gone for a move. Fran runs wide, and Walter takes 3rd place on the final lap. Walter gets the podium out of that one. What a fascinating drive, and the final lap overtake for Walter to get his maiden Super Formula podium. Fran 4th, 5th, Wittmann 6th, Foxy 7th, Gemini. A lot of recovery work was needed after an absolute shunt at the beginning earlier on in the race. So Raiden's win could be under scrutiny here. Hunty in 8th place, 9th is M3 guy, 10th is Garden. Wrighton is just doing Wrighton things, I suppose. He's actually gone to the end of the pit lane. Oh, Wrighton's apparently just jumped into 6th. I wonder if there's just a glitch on our end and that Wrighton is actually racing this whole time. Because Wrighton's car seems to be moving further and further down the pit lane every time you see it. Either way though, what has been an absolutely thrilling race here. Raiden did win by just 2.6 seconds. 2.6 seconds in the end, but like we said, there's most likely a penalty possibly coming Raiden's way for that instant that chicane with Gemini, which could mean Raiden's win could be under threat here. But a great recovery drive nonetheless.
His part of the story.
It will be very, very interesting. So we will obviously, as usual, have Raiden, Riste and Walter in the podium room with us as the interviews will commence. And I'm sure Walter will be ecstatic with that one. And I think so Raiden may not have had pole position or fastest lap, but that didn't stop him from taking the win. So I shall do the usual then. And that is, of course, inviting our top three into the party so that we can get their thoughts and their perspectives of the race. It's Raiden, Tay, and for the first time ever in Super Formula, MJ Walter. I think, realistically, for driver of the day, I don't think there's much else we could have said. I don't think there could be anyone else, really. It clearly has to. I'd say, anyway, Walter did an incredible job. Hello.
Yeah, I think so.
So, I think as far as driver of the day is concerned, I think Walter has to have it. Right on cue.
Yeah, oh, don't tell him that. Shh.
I mean, Walter didn't get driver of the day. What are we on about?
Yeah.
Hello.
It's impossible to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so you're all here now, and welcome and well done to the three of you. You did a great job in the race. Anyway, so let's start with Raiden. Raiden won the race. Let's start with Raiden. Raiden, well done for the win. That it was quite the fight between you and your teammate at the front for a lot of it.
Yeah, it was a messy race with a lot of mistakes. I couldn't really tell where I was half the time. I made so many errors in that race. I'm quite surprised.
Tay, your perspective? What is And Raiden, I think we need to talk to you about your incident with Gemini at the chicane. What happened in your view?
Well, I was right up behind him, and I don't really. He braked so early, I had nowhere to go but either into the back of his gearbox or down the inside. Because he just braked so much earlier than he needed to. Yeah, I'll take a penalty if needs be for that, but I literally let it go. I didn't want to make contact with him, I didn't want to make the move there, but I had no choice. My braking point was so much different to his from that point.
Budge, anything?
Yeah, that was excellent, guys. Thanks very much. There were lots of going off. I enjoyed that bit.
It didn't really suit the one tyres as much as it should have done. I went off about 4 laps straight in halves. Yeah. It was, yeah.
So what was it like going past the blue flags? Did that go okay?
Too bad.
Scary.
Which wasn't actually, didn't have to wait too long.
It was. Overall, happy with that race.
Yeah.
I don't think Fran's very happy with me on this grid. Oh god, here we go.
Anyway, so Walter,
Mhm.
congratulations! It's your maiden podium in this series, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So, at what point in the race did you think that you could have had a podium?
I felt quite consistent, quite fast throughout. I think at the end it was a case of Fran's tyres were worn. He spun out about 2 or 3 times after he picked the softs, and I thought, okay, the mediums would have made the 10 lap distance, since I think the softs seemed to be quite struggled on them quite a bit. And I think with the last corner, or the last few instants, the last lap and the last few corners, with the move, I saw the gap up the inside. There was a bit of side contact. I didn't mean to send Fran off. The move I thought was there. So if there's a penalty incurred, I take that on my behalf. Although the incident earlier with him at the chicane, still, if I get a penalty for whatever I did, I'm fine with that. But overall, good result.
So basically, what we've learned is that the actual podium could look very different to this podium.
Depends on your strategy, depends on the track.
I think what we've learned is we should race here again.
Yes.
I thought that, you see, from our perspective, it was a great race.
It
Yeah,
seemed
brilliant.
to be a lot.
Oh yeah. I'm sure to watch it was fun.
It seems to be a lot shorter than it felt a lot shorter with like a 58-second lap, basically flat out. It felt a lot shorter than some of the other races, which were like 40 minutes long, whereas this was half an hour. It certainly felt a lot shorter, but then again a lot longer with the shorter lap times. I did my usual overfueled. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes when you overfuel, it will occasionally help. Yeah.
Oh, one last thing then. You are the top 3 in the race, and with this being the first race, that means you are the top 3 in the championship. Which means that for the next race, you will have to choose either softs, medium, or hards for qualifying. Thoughts? And then obviously it's like whichever tyre you choose to qualify on, you have to start the race on.
This is going to be a very Christian strategy choice, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you should.
Walter qualifying at the back.
It will be, yeah.
And it's Tokyo Expressway South Outer Loop.
Oh, no, that's such a kid, isn't it? Oh.
No, is it? Oh, it's. I think it's. I don't know. I might have confused it. I can't remember which one it is. It's meant to be the one with the docks, but if I've put the wrong one, I'll have to change that. All right, okay. I'll have to change that. It is meant to be the one with the docks, though, because I can never remember the difference between all the Tokyo Expressway tracks. They're all the same in my eyes. Yeah, the season has a calendar of races such as this, Tokyo Expressway, or Topless, and Bathurst. It's almost like I don't want you to overtake.
Oh my god.
Today, that was a nightmare.
I was going to say, it's almost like I don't want you to overtake on track. Anyway. So, yeah, no.
These cars will snap in half going down the hill with Bathurst.
I don't know, I did some testing on them and found them alright. No, I'm not even joking, I actually didn't find them too bad. But then again...
I was struggling today in GR3 just to get around.
Yeah, that's GR3. Anyway. So, Budge, any last questions? Or?
No, I don't think so.
Right then, I think...
Yeah, brilliant. Really enjoyed that. Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much.
Right then, so with that, we shall end the stream for the first race of the new season of the Super Formula Championship. Next week will be multi-class. Next week will be multi-class streamed on Budgie's channel around Monza, and then the week after that we shall be back with Tokyo Expressway, and it could be another interesting race then. So we will see you until the next time. Goodbye and subscribe.